How to create and sell digital art on Etsy. Etsy plus Canva. Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, I'll be showing you guys how to get started with building your store on Etsy, what kind of digital art products can you sell, and how you can build them through Canva. So let's get into it. Now, the first thing we want to do is actually create our product, and then we can move towards selling our product on Etsy, because selling it is going to be easy once you have a good product. So how can you create products with Canva, and what are the licensing terms on Canva as well? That is something a lot of people wonder. Well, one thing you need to know is that whenever you are designing with Canva, if you are creating a design without putting any custom illustrative graphic or without making any changes to it. So if I search for a logo over here, and the logo is just one element, if it's just one element by one creator, that would mean that I'm blatantly just taking the item that one creator created. So for licensing terms, for you to be able to legally sell them, although it's very rare that you're ever going to face repercussions on this, but still, just to be on the safer side, you always need to put your own twist. So at least you should be combining one or more elements together. Now, the next thing you might be wondering, what exactly can I sell as a digital art product? Well, for that, you can go on to Etsy and just search for digital art, and you will see multiple different types of products. You can sell digital journals, you can sell stickers, you can create budget planners, you can create printable frames, and more. So all of these things fall under the guise of Etsy digital products or digital art. Now, building a planner or a journal can be slightly more time consuming and difficult. So the most easiest thing to build is a print. So these types of prints are easy to build, and you can easily create mockups on Canva as well. Now let's get started. So the first thing you need to note is the size. So you can see over here you have the banana leaf prints. Now the thing with this is that you're going to be able to see the size of the file, and that is what you need. So it really depends on what you are framing this for. So whether or not you're advertising this for larger frames, smaller frames, or anything. But the larger the quality, the better. So what you're going to do is you're going to head on to Canva, and once you're on Canva, on the top right, you're going to click on custom size. Now, once you click on custom size, you want to change it from pixels into inches. And once you go into inches, you're going to add your width and height. So let's say we want to do a 18-inch width and a 24-inch height. So after that, I'm going to click on create design. It's going to be a relatively large canvas, as you guys can see over here, and I'm going for the same portrait kind of shape over here as well. Now, the first thing I like to do is click on my canvas, and then on the top left, I can choose a particular color. Let's say I want to go with black over here. And then on the left side, you have elements. So from here, you can get started with building your particular type of print. Now, I recommend going with this strategy of selling a printable set of 3, because people like to put in sets of 3, so it's better to design in a set of 3 as well. So I will be designing 3 pages for you guys, just to show you guys how you can differentiate them and how you can actually build something around one specific theme. Now, once you have your canvas, you need to think of a theme. Now, I'm going to go with a heavenly bodies, or, a galactic theme. So maybe the moon, the stars, the galaxies, the planets, something like that. So that is going to be the theme that I want. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on elements on the top left, and then I can click on the search bar, and I'll just search for stars. And once you search for a particular item, you can go into the graphics section specifically if you don't want a background, but if you're all right with a background, you can go into this section of photos as well. But I'm going to go into the graphics section just to see all the options that I have. And this is a really interesting theme, but I think I want to make this black and white instead of including color. So I'm going to skip on, and I'm going to keep on looking. And I really like this particular illustration over here. And I'm going to change the color to white like this, and I can go back into elements like this. And then what you're going to see is that when you go back into elements in the graphics section, you're going to have recommendations. So I'm going to click on see all for all of the recommendations, and you will be able to see a bunch of different recommendations. So I really like this. Now, for this, although I like it, I want this to be a pattern. So I'm going to include a bunch of different elements like this, and I'm just going to paste them all together first, because once I paste them all together, I can change the color of all of the elements. So after this, let's say I want to go back into this one, click on over here, click on here, click on see all, and then you can include the ones that you like. So I can scroll down, and I think these are enough. So now I'm just going to do a left click and then select all of these, and then you will be able to see multiple different options. Now I am going to firstly change the colors on these items so we are able to better see our elements that we've created, because I want this to be a pattern, not just one element. And you can do a one element design as well, but I prefer a pattern, so that's what I like to create. Now, once you have your elements added, what you're going to do is resize them. So once we have elements, we want to be able to resize elements like so. And maybe I want this to be over here like this. And maybe this is going to be our central print. I'm going to select all of these items and click on Command C and then just click on Command V. Now, what this enables you to do is that you can copy the exact arrangement of items, and then you're going to be able to just, adjust the sizes and whatnot. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to start building a pattern from the top, so I can actually, have all of my elements be together like so. Just making sure everything looks nice and good like this. And I'm just gonna make sure all of it is good like so. So once I have my pattern decided, I can just select all of these items and click on Command C and Command V. Now, if you want the size to be larger, you can obviously increase the size. I'm gonna increase it slightly. I think this looks slightly better. I'm gonna delete the first row like so. And then I can do Command C, Command V, and then place these items accordingly. And I'm going to rotate them slightly in each row like this. So we're just going to have this added like so. And if you want, you can keep it straight as well. This is just a personal design preference. If it's not your cup of tea, you can obviously just leave it like this and it would look fine. This just really depends on how you're looking to design your elements. And once you have these copied, you can just collect all of these together and then copy them to the next page. So I'm just going to realign these because these are not aligned like this. And now once I have everything aligned like so, I might want to add some text as well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure all of these elements look synced up, because if they don't, that's going to bother me later. Like this. And just by selecting each item, you can take a look at these purple lines to just better help you understand whether or not they are aligned. So now all of these are properly aligned like this. Now, after I've done this, I'm going to go into the element section once more, and I'm going to search for just a box or just, a rectangle. And I want to write heavenly bodies on top. So I'm just going to take a very basic rectangle over here, increase the size, and then place it right at the center like so. And then I am going to click on the transparency on the top right, and then I'm just going to make it like so. So once I have this little overlay, you can do this in a gray color as well. If you change the item color, it can, make a gray overlay if you want, a black one, a white one. So I'm just going to keep a black overlay. I think it looks pretty nice and subtle. And then I'm going to go ahead and go into text, click on add text box, and then I'm just going to enter my text. Once I've entered my text, I can select the particular type of text that I want. And then from the top left, I have multiple different font options that I can choose from. So I think I'm going to go for this particular font. And once I've chosen the font, I can always resize it like this. And once I've resized my font, I'm just going to place it right at the center of our design like this. So once I've done that, I'm also going to make sure that this is recentered as well like this. Now, once I've created my design, I can get started with building the rest of our designs. And let's say for that, I want to focus on maybe the moon and the sun. So I'm going to go back into elements over here, and then I'm just going to search for moon. And then in our graphics section, you'll have multiple different options. So you can choose any one that you like, whichever one you like. And let's say I want this to be more interesting. So maybe I want to take this item over here like this, and then I can change the color on this, like these colors over here. And I'm just going to slightly make these colors differentiated like so. And we have some recommendations on this as well. So I think I'm going to take one of the recommended items as well, because these look pretty nice, like this one over here as well as this one. So I'm going to click on see all and then take a look at all of the recommended items, because I think we can find our next illustration on that as well. But taking our first item over here, we have this illustration, and I'm going to flip this to 90 degrees like this. And now once we have this, we can add a slight background because the background looks a bit bleak with this kind of illustration. So I'm going to search for stars. Once I search for stars, I can go into graphics and take any one of these star patterns. You can increase the size like this. And I'm just going to just not increase it too much because I don't want to lose the density of the stars. I'm just going to do a Command C, Command V, and then I'm going to take this and click on layer and then click on send to back. And then for the second layer as well, I'm going to click on send to back like this. And taking our center items, I am going to make sure it's on the front as it is. And then after that, you can add overlay behind this if you like, but I personally like this. And then after that, we're going to create our final image. So we're going to search for the sun in this image and then go into graphics. And then we are going to just take a look at some of the different illustrations available. And I'm going to take this one over here. Now this is in black. I'm going to change the outline to white. And then I can go back into elements, and you can see you're going to have some recommended items that you can add in the background as well. But I think I'm going to go with the stars background again. I'm just going to search for stars and then go into our graphics. And this time I'm going to take a slightly different pattern because I don't want a lot of density for this background. And I'm just going to rotate these a little like so. And you can keep on designing however many that you like. You can really make a lot of different variations in this. It really depends on your personal preference on how you want to design an item. So we're just going to add some of this over here. And once I've added my items, I'm just going to place everything so. And now I'm going to take our central image, increase the size on this, and then I'm just going to place this in the center. Now, once you have completed all of your designs, you can actually get started with selling these on Etsy. You can make any more tweaks that you would like further. This is going to be the central frame, and these are going to be the side frames. I'm going to click on share and then click on download. Now, one thing I like to do is download them as a PNG, and I like to use the PNG as a mock image creator. And then for the actual PDF that you're going to be providing to your customers, you're going to click on PDF print, and then you're going to click the PDF print. That is going to be the digital file that you upload over here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the home page on Canva once I've created my design, and I'm going to search for mockup. Now, once you search for mockup on the homepage on Canva, you're going to find different types of mockups. You have this mockup over here. This is a frame mockup that you can use. You're going to click on customize this template. And this is just for one frame. You can look for some mockups that have multiple different frames, such as this one over here. And let's say I'm looking for frames only. So I'm going to search for frame mockup like this. And you can build your own mockups as well. This is totally dependent on how much effort you're looking to put in. But taking a look at one of these ones over here, we can take this one as well. You can scroll down and look at some of the other templates available. So I'm going to take this one over here. This is already a 3-frame mockup, you could say. And then once we have this, we're just going to upload our images. So you're going to go into your upload section, And the PNGs that you just downloaded, you want to extract them over here. So if they are in your downloads, you want to go over there and you want to extract those PNG files. So just taking a look at this, just open these up and now you can paste them into your uploads. And now I'm just going to add our images. So I'm just going to enter with this image and I'm just going to resize it so it fits the frame like this. And then I'm going to take the other one, and it's, you know, a image, so you don't have to actually resize it, but I'm going to resize this one too. And just like that, you have your frames added. Now, obviously this is for a children's room and you can really find the type of mockup that fits better. But once you've created your mockup, you can click on share on the top right, click on download, and you're just going to download this as a PNG because you're not going to be uploading the direct image in your Etsy listing. You're only going to be uploading this PNG. Now, once you have completed this, you're going to go back into Etsy. And once you're on Etsy, click on sign in on the top right. Then you're going to create your account by clicking on register on the top right again. And if you already have an account, you can just simply sign into your account. So you can choose a Google account, Facebook account, or Apple account if you have already created your account previously. So now I have just created my account, and once you've created your account, you're going to click on your top right and you can click on sell on Etsy. So from here, we are going to begin the process of selling on Etsy. Now you're going to click on get started over here, and then you're going to start building your store. Then you're going to click on let's do this, and you can skip these questions. So you can skip all of these questions if you want. And if you don't want, you know, if you already have an idea, then I would recommend that you just add these answers if you already have the time. Now you can get started with setting up your shop. So you have to set up your shop language, then your country. So let's say we are going to set up shop over here. So we're just going to click on save and continue. And I'm just going to name our shop and then click on continue. Now this is already taken, so I am going to rename this Dirt & Co. And then just click on save and continue. Now over here, you can get started with adding your product. So this is what we're going to do. Now to do this, you have video options, photo options, listing details, your inventory and pricing, and more. So we're going to click on add a photo over here, and we're going to take the image that we created. This is going to be our mock-up image that you have to add. Now you guys can see listings look best with photos at least 2000 pixels wide. This is slightly smaller, so you can go back into Canva, click on share, and then click on download. And then you can increase the pixel amount from here as well. So this is only a pro feature on Canva. If you want, you can do this, or you can make sure that your original listing size is always super large. So we're just going to add the primary image once more like this, and then just download this and add it over here. Now after this, you can add videos, but we're going to go directly into our title. This is going to be Heavenly Bodies, printable art. And one thing to note is that on Etsy, it's really essential that you include as many keywords, as many taglines as possible. So for that, I recommend you go back into Etsy and take a look at some of the other sellers printable art taglines that they're using, because they're going to be using the same keywords as you. So you're going to search for Heavenly Bodies printable art just to see if there's any similar listing. Now there isn't any similar listing, so I'm going to just search for printable art over here, taking a look at this art piece over here, One Golden Galaxy, paintings, cosmic. Now I'm going to copy these keywords and then include them in my follow-up phrase. So I'm going to click on paste, and I'm going to add paintings, cosmic, printable wall art. And although the title might seem a bit odd when you do this, it's very essential that you do, because this is very, very, very important to be able to get the SEO, which is the search engine optimization, score higher for you, and your listing will be more visible to more customers on Etsy. So after this, you're going to add who made this and you're going to enter yourself. And then this is going to be a finished product and when did you make it. So this is going to be, let's say right now. And below that you have renewal options and the type. So you're going to change the file, the type of item to digital. And then this is automatic. Now after that, you can choose the manual renewing of your listing. Then you can add the category. So this is going to be digital prints. You're going to search for that and you're going to add that. And this will be in the primary color black. And then after that, you have your secondary color options where I'm going to add white. And then you can choose the width as well, so people have a better idea of what is the recommended size, what is the recommended framing of that as well. Now after that you have the home style as well. So let's say this is going to be contemporary. And after that we're going to add any celebration that might be related, any room that could be added. So this could be added in a bedroom, dorm, entryway, game room. Yeah, I think these are the only applicable categories. We're going to add those. Then you have the subject. So the subject for this is cosmic items, so we're just going to look for those. If you can't find the particular item that you have, you can always skip it because this is not really, none of these categories are applicable for us. Then you're going to have your renewal option, your description. Now over here, you're going to write a description for your items. You can ask ChatGPT to add a description for you. You can ask it to write a Etsy description for a printable cosmic set of 3 wall art. Include as many keywords as possible. So you're going to use this particular line on ChatGPT and then you're going to ask it to write the description for you. Now once you have completed this, you can click on copy and then you're just going to go back into your description on Etsy and paste it. And now obviously we're going to cut out any part that is not applicable, and I don't allow customization, so I'm going to cut this out and I'm going to enter, remove this heading for cosmic art and whatnot. And then after that we're going to add the production partner if you have any. Then you have your tags, so we can add frame, art, printable art, wall art, whatever is a applicable tag. I recommend adding all 13 tags because that just helps with the SEO. And then you have materials for digital product. We're not going to be adding materials. Then you're going to have your listing price. So we're going to enter our listing price, the quantity, and the SKU. If you have any stock keeping units, then you can add those as well. After that, you can add personalization. So if you're offering items that you write names on, then you can add that over here as well. And then you're going to upload the actual digital file that people are going to receive. And for this, make sure you're uploading the PDF document of these images, not the PNG version, not the zip file version. The PDF version is what you're supposed to add over here. So you're going to open the PDF version, and after that you can get started with building your return and exchange, but for a digital item that is not applicable. Now after you do this, you're going to click on save and continue, and you have your final few steps. So you can get started, and we have our listing over here. This is what our listing is going to look like. You're going to get started with creating more listings, and you can add more listings as you go, or you can just go into your next step and you're going to choose how you're going to get paid. So over here it's going to be all of your personal information. You can just add the method of payment. So whatever method of payment that you are accepting, you can enter that, your name, country, and more. And then you can actually, go back into your Etsy store and you can, start selling more. So you guys can see, you're going to go into your store management and you're going to find your payment info. And once you do that, your purchases, all of your items will be visible on the Etsy store. It's simple, easy, and I would recommend that you take inspo off of pre-existing items. So if you search for printable art on Etsy, now, whatever are the top sellers, you're going to find those over here. You can take inspo from their price first off. You'd want to make sure you're in a similar price range as them. And then you also want to make sure that you are creating similar items, not the copies or dupes, but things that are, you know, attracting people. So this is the type of art that's attracting people. I think it's relatively easy to create. You can go back into Canva, go back into your home page, and just open up a new canvas of your custom size, and then you're going to go on ahead and start designing. So go back into Elements, search for flowers, and then you're going to click on See All in your graphics and just choose whichever one you like. So if you like this one over here, you can enter this one like so, and just take another one over here, click on flip, and then you can just enter this like so. Just building a little bunch of lavenders like this, and then I'm just gonna place these at the center. And you guys can see, you know, there are multiple different types of these, so I can build my second frame with a similar design as well. If you don't like a particular design, or if you can't find similar items to a design, you can scratch that and take a different design like this one. Then we're going to duplicate our page, and on a new page you can build a design like this, and then furthermore you can take, you know, one more category of flowers and enter those as well. So in this way you can get started with selling on Etsy. The Etsy shop manager will help you in getting analytics for your items as well, and you can actually take a look at all of your items, all of your listings, and add more listings as you go. Now, make sure to set up your payment setup and your billing, and that is going to be the final step of your Etsy shop, which is going to be setting up your own billing. So that was it for today. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have any questions or queries regarding Etsy, regarding Canva, and how you can get started, leave those in the comment box down below. I would love to help you guys out, and I will catch you guys in the next video.